Dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami.
Very much welcome to our center. I will invite and we are running meditation sessions. One of our Brian is sitting there. He is also a very active member of our body mind well-being activities. But we practice mindfulness, compassion, and also we try to train our body and mind, especially to be content, effective, and also make use of this very opportunity life, a very success. Feeling the breath in and out, just totally relax the mind and be happy for having this great opportunity. Rest the mind and enjoy the inner peace. Bring the palms together gently, close to your heart, which is the center of our energy. Let us share a short blessing.
Thank you.
Sometimes it doesn't have to I always thinking about Buddhist walls.
Okay, I have a small bit.
They're on there.
Accepted.
Well, that's not Buddhist wall, is it? That's not over religion.
No, I agree. Very with it.
Fish ball. Fish ball.
Right, yes.
Yes, it's different.
You all think everything's going to
Would you like to help? And that's it, really. So I did.
Do you live there? Candy, I imagine you'll see the apple farm.
My God.
Yes.
Yeah, look at the camera.
Well, I actually played with it. What are they? Cookies. It's made of flour.
That way it's just gentle.
We haven't elected now.
You do.
Grapes.
But what you can do is you can change your focus.
And once a year at the ceremony, they hold in Letchworth. Next month they have toast bag.
You have any fat?
Yes.
So it's like when the meditation is
And very simple things in life. And Cheryl said that you all can offer one of these and become a monk one day.
Okay. I hope you agree that this is a very special place and it does an awful lot of good for the community, not only in Letchworth but the wider community as well, because the Reverend actually comes across to Bedford and visits the school where I'm in the governing body.
May I ask Brian to come forward and offer one to our chairman as well?
Thank you so much.
And Asanka, can you come forward and offer?
Brian, face the camera, yeah?
Should we take it?
I think I better sit down, otherwise
This is a cave in Sri Lanka, which is turned into a Buddhist temple.
Yes.
Right.
Bit of history there on one side.
Look at the camera. Mike, sorry. Thank you.
I have a special room in the council offices, which is my room. This will go on before.
Thank you very much, thank you. And just lastly to say, you are all very, very welcome to come here any time.
Centre. Our Buddhist friend here is superb. I've been attending upon him for nearly a year now, and I've learned an awful lot. I find I've got an awful lot still to learn, but it's an enjoyable meeting. We have a meditation, then we have a talk, then we have to talk back, and then he's got a wonderful thing up here which he puts on the wall, and we all have to do Chinese exercises, so it's a very busy morning. But anyway, thank you all for coming, and very great welcome to this Buddhist Centre, which is one of the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll ask Brian to introduce his speaker for us, please.
Well, my Sri Lankan isn't very good, but I'm going to introduce the monk of the Dhamma Buddhist Centre in Pix Road, who I've been going to for a year now and found it very interesting. His name is Bhante, which roughly means reverend, and then the next word I'll make a mistake on, Anthi, it's something like that anyway. He's been very good to me and very helpful to me, but he's coming here today to talk on an introduction to Buddhism, which he started in when he was 16. He was a monk at 16. Anyway, for you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, our good friend Brian, and distinguished and also very good people. It's a great pleasure to be here, and also I should say thank you for inviting for us to come and share some experiences that we experience in our lives, so that it can bring happiness. I am here not to make a formal talk, but to share the experiences we all have in this beautiful journey of life. So this is the way of life. Buddhism is way of life rather than a religion. It is more like a philosophy. If you got into some kind of conditions or some limited situations, we normally lose lot of our beautiful part of the life. So being open and connected, we can bring so much. Life is opportunity, and therefore it is a great pleasure in the journey of a beautiful life to stand here and to share some experience. In that context, I say Brian brought us a good occasion and opportunity, and it is a great blessing for him to share the good experience he encounters in life and to make it share with others. So in this talk, I am going to explain in brief the essence of Buddhism. I brought a little stuff here. This is just candle and bunch of flowers. So this gives you different ideas and memories, and I'm sure this is very familiar. These are very familiar objects to all of us. What does a light? A lamp is very important in the teachings of the Buddha as a way of life. Soon after the enlightenment, he said that light arose, darkness dispelled. So therefore, light is a very significant object. And the flowers gives us so much good feeling, and it has a direct contact about our way of life. This year 2011 is highly remarkable for the Buddhist people across the globe, because they celebrate 2600 years of the anniversary of the enlightenment of the Buddha. It's a very remarkable year. So what Buddha tried to explain, rather than being introduced as a religion, he wanted to make people understand how to find peace, how to find happiness, how to make the best use of this very opportunity, the human life, which is hard to receive and incomparably important life. So in that circumstances, he was born as a prince in a palace, and one day he was wandering for his pleasure. He was highly educated young gentleman. He encountered certain circumstances. It inspired him to find the way out of these unsatisfactory situations. The main important thing in Buddhism is to find the common grounds that we all can come into. If I ask you to be involved in this sharing of thoughts, what is common in between us at this moment, at this right place? What is happening, you and me, right now? Just three things. What is happening right now? Can you tell me what is happening right now?
Fellowship.
Yes.
Fellowship.
Fellowship, yes. Inquiry. Communication. Yes, what else? The basic, if we go into basic things which are very common, we can say inquiry. But some people are not inquiry here. Fellowship, some thoughts are some other ways, so you are not still connected here. What is very, very basic to all of us is we all thinking. We all thinking. We all breathing. None of us do not stop breathing. Those are the two very important things. The other thing is clock is ticking. Time is passing. And we are getting our time pass by. So that is the three things which was very interested in Buddhism. So in the Buddhism, it says that we should open our mind and experience some broad understanding about these three things: the thoughts, and the breath we take, and the life, time is very important. One gentleman came to the Buddha and said that there are different people saying different things. Whom should I believe? Whom should I trust? Buddha said, you should not believe things by hearsay. You should not believe things just from tradition. You should not believe things because it is in the scriptures. You should not rather take things on board because there are so many people believe in it. What you need to do, just see whether it is the common sense, whether it is good for you, whether it is acceptable, whether it does not bring any disappointment, heartbreaking, unsatisfactoriness to others. That is how we can take something important into our life. I am not mentioning here to just ignore what is in the scriptures, what is in the common society. If we want to apply things into our life, we should be very open and very patient in our understanding, whether it is bring any good to us. So then he was a young gentleman. He wanted to, one day he was going for pleasure. He saw 4 sights. One is a person who was having very difficulties in sickness. And he thought, why people get this sort of situations? How do we overcome that? And then the second day when he was wandering around, he saw an elderly gentleman. And then he thought himself, time is passing. Before we get weak, before we lose our strength, we should understand the nature of this life and transform that. The other day he was walking around, he saw a person dead, carrying a dead body. Then he came into a very important understanding. The life is very uncertain. Death can come one day to our life. So we should make use of this life for understanding and also for our own happiness and great satisfaction in our life. The 4th day when he was wandering, he saw a mendicant monk who gave up so much things and wanted to find the happiness. He chosen that path and went forth, was struggling to find the true happiness in the very life. He had a very luxurious life. Eventually he realized, giving so much comfort, luxury, unnecessary expenditure to a life does not bring the happiness. Then soon after he left the palace, he went through very severe asceticism, torturing the body and mind. Then he realized torturing the body, giving lot of pain to find the peace is not the way to happiness. Then he found the middle path, which is very important teaching in Buddhism, the middle path. He saw a gentleman playing a violin. If the strings of that violin is too tight, he can certainly damage the violin and it will not give the right tune, sounds. If the strings of the violin is too loose, it will not give the right sound and he can't play properly. Then he found that clever musician putting the strings into the right middle tune sense and produce good sounds. I am here today to experience and share that right tune in the right middle way that we all can share our experience. You know that this universe, this world is highly developed today. If you have seen last April time, your analog television has gone. Now you have HD, high definition televisions. That means information technology is passing, developing very quickly, and it has come to a high peak. Even in this environment, this space is not empty. So many vibrations and technologies are being filled. I'm sure when I was a young person, kid, 30 years ago, I saw only few mobile phones, hardly any. The first mobile phone I saw 30 years ago is like this much. Now, today in average, everybody has at least 2 phones. And they are coming into this much. The modern mobile phone which we call is iPhone, which has over 1 million applications in it. You see how much we are going to be distracted. And how much we are going to be uncontent, wanting and putting us into a kind of a stream of need, necessities. This is being distracted, and we are losing the sense of our happiness because of all these distractions. That is not the most important thing. You know that the modern mobile phones are using 3G network. The technology they call 3G. And they are saying now today that is not enough. They want to upgrade into 4G. And it is coming into being in April, but there is a problem. You can't keep a mobile phone with the 4G and in the same time watch the HD television because it's going to be clashed. So what they're going to do, they spend more money to sort that out. And we have to pay for that as well. That's not a problem. Problem is how much we are going to be content. Even though this high information technology has come into a one thing is for sure is missing. What is that? We are not happy. We are not content. This is what we Buddhists say in a way of life. This is far better technology which we call transformational technology. That is informational technology, which is very important. What we practice here 2600 years ago, this was introduced and it is timeless. It will be beneficial today, it will be beneficial in another 2500 years even. In the same ratio, volume, this transformational technology. To be happy, to be content. If we do not realize this transformation technology, which is how to be happy, which is going to be a very unhappy situation. So there Buddhism introduced to understand the Four Noble Truths, another key essential part of teaching. Four Noble Truth is unsatisfactoriness, cause of unsatisfactoriness, cessation of unsatisfactoriness, path leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness. This means, say, if you are in emotional turmoil, if you are in some kind of disappointment in your relationship, if you are in a difficult situation in your personal health circumstances, if you do not see it, if you just let the emotions to be clouded, then you are in unsatisfactoriness. If you just ease the situation, then you can overcome the unsatisfactoriness. Then that comes to a very important point. How can we ease that? We have to see the root causes of that situation. When we see the causes of that situation, one thing is very important. Buddhism says the very important essence of Buddhism is theory of cause and effect. Say, I brought this candle here. I did say this is very important because this symbolizes our life. To make this flame, this candle to lit, we need right conditions. Without the right conditions, oxygen and other necessities of the space, we can't make this light here. And this light can anytime go off. There are 4 circumstances. If the wax is over, if there is a problem in the wick, if there is any wind or some other accidental circumstances, or purposely we can take the flame off. The most important thing is this gives light. I'm sure this room is light enough, but what a light means, it gives light, dispel the darkness. Life is also a similar thing. Our life can bring so much light to this universe, to our own society. How could we do that? Through compassion. Without expecting anything return, we give our good nature for the benefit of all of us. As this light symbolizes that bright light sharing with each other, if we understand this nature, it can bring so much good happiness to the world. So that is called causes and effect theory. As you may have heard, every action has a reaction. Every action we should bear that we have to take the personal circumstances of that action. Personal consequences of that action. So therefore, we need to be responsible of what we are doing, and that is, we have to see the origins of the situations. The second thing, to see the origins. It is not one thing, as I said. Don't look at one thing to point out one thing, because the things arises because of the causes. And then the main cause is gravity, desire, attachment. How can we release from all these things? If I hold this bit heavy instrument like this for a few minutes, what would happen to my hand?
Tired.
Get tired, yes. Then if I keep continuing,
Drop it.
yes, drop it, and I will get, yes. And what else? If I want to keep this hold for long, what should I do?
Use the other hand to help it.
Yes, we can use the other hand. Yes, what else we can do? You just simply need to put aside. People don't want to do that because they think they are going to lose it. If you put aside your things mindfully, you know that you can take it again, then you are not going to suffer. This is what all Buddhist teachings explain. People hold on to things, whether it be an anger, whether it is be an resentment, whether it is be an past memory. They try to hold on to the situations. They don't think letting go. They don't practice things pass by. They hold on to those situations. So that is one of the things that cessation is possible. One gentleman had 4 wives. I heard that you can bring along at the door walking. One gentleman had 4 wives. I am not going to ask how many wives he had. So one day he had a problem. He had a severe difficulty and he was terminally ill. He thought himself, I spent my whole life looking after these wives. I can't go myself alone. I should ask one of them to come. He thought I should ask the 4th wife because I cared for her very much and I looked after her very much. I spent so much for her and I should ask her to come with me to go when I was passing by. She was called. She said, I can do anything for you, but I can't go with you. He was disappointed. Couldn't do anything, asked the 3rd wife to come. She also came and said, I can do anything while you are alive. Once you go on, I can't do much. He asked for the 2nd wife, which he cared less than those 2. She came and said, I can do much things for you, but unfortunately I can do most of your parts as well, but from the graveyard I have to step from there. We can't go. Then he called for the 1st wife. She said, I know you ignored me, you did not care for me, but I will come with you all the way wherever you go. He died thinking, I should have think about you a bit more than this. So these 4 wives or the ladies are symbolical. Don't misunderstand that you can have a lot of wives. These 4 wives are symbolical. The 4th wife is the wealth and the reputation we have gained. We are married to that. It's like a very close associate of us. We think those are the important things. The wealth and the reputation we have gained. But at the end of the day, we have to put them aside. The 2nd wife means the children and the relatives. They said that we can do anything for you, but when we pass by, we can't go anywhere beyond. Yes, we did. You did so much to us, and we did so much to us. This is the nature of life. The 2nd wife is our own body. That is the wife you spend so much, luxurious things, gave so much comfort, brought everywhere you go, to any country, anywhere. But the body said, I can walk to the graveyard. From that point, it is hard to do something else. The 1st wife, who said that you ignored me, but I will come along with you, is the mind. So these are the symbolical things. This is the mind that we should really look into. In our practices, what we do, we train the mind, develop the mind, and try to overcome the emotional and other ignorant, bad behaviors, habits, and try to organize, train our mind to have a good, better life. How do we do that? We just practice mindful practices, breathing practices, and transform our energy. When we transform our energy, it improves the quality of this body and mind. And we can make so much use of this very opportunity in good health and happiness, contentment. If we practice that mindful practices to train the mind, to understand the nature. May I invite you all just to experience some bit of meditation what we practice, and to just try how it works with you and see how much comfort, peace, happiness can brought into our life with that normal relaxing, emptying the mind, clearing the energy and make ourselves comfortable. So please let us few minutes and practice some meditation to see whether we can experience some difference. Please sit properly and make yourself comfortable in your sitting. Keep the head upright. And rest your palms in a position where you feel comfortable. Relax your shoulders, gently close your eyes. Take a good fresh breath in and slowly and gently let the breath go out. Once again, good fresh breath in, slowly and gently let the breath go out. Once again, another breath in, slowly and gently let the breath go out. Visualize from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and let the whole energy in the whole body relax and rest. As you feel and visualize from the top of the head to the bottom of your feet, stimulate your mind with good thoughts that generates good hormones through the electricity of the brain. So think as I say to generate that good blessings. May my body be well. May my mind be at ease and well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I free from anger, and may I free from hatred. May I always maintain my well-being. Visualize everyone in the family. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings, parents, teachers in the whole universe, may they all be well, happy and peaceful. Mindfully feel the palms and move mindfully those palms onto your knees and rest the palms facing up on your knees. Palms bring so much energy and relax your body and the mind when you rest those palms in the proper manner. Mindfully and gently, slowly bring the palms together jointly and close to your chest, which is the center of our energy. And make a wish that you deserve in your life, and may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Thank you. Yeah, you can open your eyes. So I have just explained about the essence of Buddhism and what we practice. Compassionate teachings of the Buddha, which is 2600 years old. If there is any other questions, I will give a short break and speak a little bit more important aspects of our teachings and practices. Have you got any other questions? Any questions?
I'm sure we have some questions and answers.
I listen regularly to Thought for the Day, which is a sort of religious slot on Radio 4, and a Buddhist monk does talk on that.
Yes.
And it seems that it's been more of a, it used to be don't call it a religion, it's been more of a developing system, because often people refer to other teachers down the ages in making specific points. You've tended to focus on solely on the Buddha without sort of bringing in this sort of transformation, you talk of transformation technology, you haven't actually sort of illustrated, if you like, how those transformations have occurred in Buddhism.
That's a very good question actually. That transformation takes place that we developed our mind, we can have the energy of compassion, friendliness. There we feel ourselves content. When we think of other teachings, especially the modern science, they talk about human existence and the difficulties they are experiencing because of the attachment, and also not understanding the current situations of what is happening right now. Transformation of our energy is to bloom ourselves as a lotus comes out of the mud and the water and bloom into the high sky, make it happy and peaceful. That can only be done by practicing good nature. In the Christian teachings, it teach that the prophets ask, do you love the sheep? This thing says, yes, I do love. Then go and feed them. The second time also he asks, do you love sheep? Go and feed them. For the second time, the prophet advised. This means sharing is a very important thing. Looking after is very important thing. What we should do in looking after is 4 aspects. We all have to have some kind of personal satisfaction in 4 aspects of our life. The most important aspect is body well-being, mind well-being, and social well-being, spiritual well-being. Those are the 4 aspects that we need in our transformation to be happy and content. Body, as you can feel that it gives so much uncomfortable situations sometimes, but if you have transformed your life, you can ease nearly 99% of the pain and difficulties. If your mind is not developed, because most of the pain, most of the trouble is emotional. Then the psychological well-being, the benefit of transformation of what we practice in the nature or the energy is to comprehend the situation and ease the situation. That is where mental well-being comes into being. Even though we are physically well, mentally well, we need some social well-being. Like good people we all have come together, and even occasionally we meet each other, look after each other, we are there for them, and we look after good family relationships, friendliness in the family. Those are very important aspects for our transformation. That is where we call our life. Eventually, all of these, even though we experience that happiness, one day we all have to experience some higher well-being, that is called spiritual well-being, transformation, lasting happiness, peace. So that is the main concern in our teachings of well-being and transformation. Yes, we can bring into light some other teachings of other religions. As I said, the religions and also the science, they all talk about the way of life. And here what we practice is to understand all the good things in all different places without putting any labels onto that. We try to understand what is good for us, and we try to make our life well, quality in our health and social status with the good things. So therefore, rather than focusing on Buddhism or other specific teaching, we are sharing mindfulness practices and the teachings that related to develop our mind and body and the quality of our well-being. Yeah. Any other questions?
Do Buddhists believe in an afterlife?
That's a good
What are the
question.
teachings about that?
Yes, that's the good question. Yes, it's an interesting question. We believe the life after. Yes, say that it is scientifically there are some experiments done by Stephen Hawking about the life after. In Buddhism, actually, we believe that the death is not the end of our life. The end of our life is Nibbana, which we called the lasting peace, happiness. We are in a journey of life and death cycle. So therefore, what happens when death occurs, the consciousness pass into another existence. But most important thing is that is not the same consciousness pass into another, because in that circumstances lot of changes takes place. But it has an identity pass from here to there. Yes, we Buddhists believe life after, and therefore one of the main reasons we practice compassion, because we may have met not only this life, even in many lives. Even the person we are being not good in terms of our relationships, they may have been parents, family members, good friends in a previous lives. So therefore, compassion based on that broad understanding of existence in Buddhist teachings. So therefore, do Buddhists believe in life after?
Okay.
Any other questions?
One word you haven't mentioned, and I'm going to ask you the very basic question. Do you believe in Christ?
Christ, Jesus Christ. Yes, he is a great spiritual teacher and very remarkable contribution he has done. As I believe, I normally respect the Buddhists, all respect to other religions and accommodate the good teachings properly. So there are so many good things said by the Jesus Christ, and if we can practice those, we can bring so much good nature into the life. Yes. Yes, please.
In Christianity now, we study and believe Jesus Christ. He had disciples about him to spread the word of the gospel. Did Buddha have any of this?
Yes. Actually, Buddha delivered the Dhamma talk. He delivered the teaching to, at the beginning, for 5 people. Then he asked, if you find this is peaceful, if this is applicable to you, but don't force anyone to accept it. Share it those who likes it. So therefore Buddha gave that teaching to many disciples, and they carried it on and shared it with all of us, all of the universal people. As a result, even 2600 years after, we have access to the direct teachings of the Buddha. So those are not like same context, highly spiritual teachers to deliver the things. He said that we all have the Buddha nature. We all can become into the state of the Buddha if we develop ourselves, and we all can be teachers and share this teaching. So that is kind of a common understanding that we all can come into the state of the Buddha.
At our church, we happen to have priest in charge, who's a man, and an assistant priest, who's his wife.
Yeah.
And they have equal status in all what they do for us. Is that possible in Buddhism?
That means to marry, to priest to be married, yeah?
Well, yes, a woman and priest, full stop, but a married couple being priest and priest.
In Buddhism, actually, the priest, the monks, need to be practice celibacy, and they are more towards their priesthood. So they can't get married, but there are nuns, there are monks. They both come and practice as a monk or nun. Yeah. But in the same time, the priest can't be married and continue the priesthood because priest practice celibacy. There is some schools of Buddhist, because Buddhist, there are quite a few schools of Buddhism. So there is only one school in Japan. They have got kind of priest that they can be married. And there is another organization which we call the FWBO, Friends of Western Buddhist Order. They also ordained people because they are a lay organization, and they also ordained, and they ordained people who are married. So therefore they continue as priests in their organization, but still they are married. So there are no that kind of barriers, but the true practicing early Buddhist teachings monks, they normally practice celibacy.
Thank you.
Good. How often should we try and relax in the way that you do?
That's a very good question, actually. I would recommend you at least 5 minutes a day. Just practice and see. If you can, we normally, Brian comes into our center every Wednesday. We have a body-mind well-being. Actually, I was not aware that this place has got this higher technology here. Otherwise, I should have bring some PowerPoint presentations, and we have got a beautiful form of exercises that we practice. I could have put that on the projector. And what we do actually, we normally practice 7-10 minutes meditation and do a little bit of walking meditation, which is very powerful, very good health improving meditation. And then we sit another 10 minutes. Normally the meditation takes place for around 20 half an hour minutes. We do talk about interesting things and we let others to talk. Brian always brings good preservable contributions, perhaps learn from this group sometimes. And then we do some exercises. Just we call it HIIT exercises. Just make the body move and get these nerves and muscles alive. Because if you do not do the right exercises, it can die because it is not being used. When you move in your limit, you can do only this much. I can do this much. Today you will do stretch up to this. Tomorrow you will stretch up to that. But if you ask somebody to do that through massaging or whatever, they don't know your limit. As you are doing it by yourself, you improve self-esteem and you improve the quality in your limit. So we do little bit of exercises on Wednesday. So to the answer to that good question is, if you can just practice 5 minutes, relaxing, empty the mind and be mindful. Don't go into sleep mode because if it is in the sleeping, you could have improved so much by that time because you spend nearly 5 hours, 6 hours every day sleeping. This is called mindful sitting development that improves the quality of the body and mind.
When Jesus appointed his 12 disciples, we read in the scriptures that he prayed all night because it was a major decision. Do you include prayer to a divine being in your philosophy?
Actually, our practices are little bit different, but we have a very strong belief of chanting, sharing blessings. Like we do little bit of chanting. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. If we come to know that one of our friends in difficult situation, whether it be a sickness or whether it be a bereavement, whether it be other personal circumstances, we pray in the sense of developing our mind, clearing our thoughts, sending the right thoughts and vibrations to that person. So that is kind of a blessing we call it. So we do practice that as well. Even in circumstances of sicknesses of the monks, Buddha went to them and Buddha chanted certain discourses. But the main important thing is, those are power of mind rather than believing. So Buddha did not say that believe in myself, you're going to be all right. Buddha said, I can only show you the path. If you practice it, you will every moment experience the benefit of that. What happens when we practice these prayers, chantings? It improves what we have got, electromagnetic energy in the body. One gentleman in Japan did a lot of practices, experiment to see whether it works. First he brought 2 bottles of water and he put a label, I love water, in one bottle, and other bottle he did not put any label. He frozen in the deep freezer those 2 bottles and took those 2 bottles back on the following day. With the telescope, he checked the crystals inside the bottles. He saw, you can Google it and see that pictures are available, miracles of water. the bottle with label of I love water is very bright crystals inside there. And the bottle which has no label of any thought influence did not have a bright shaped, well shaped crystals. He went forth and took 2 parcels of food. He chanted and prayed for 1 parcel, and he did not chant for the 1 parcel. He frozen the 2 parcels and took that on the following day back. Then he realized that chanted food parcel was absolutely fine, and the other one was different. So likewise, yes, we have a form of chanting instead of praying. Chanting is developing good thoughts and experiencing the power of that good thoughts.
Thank you. Go on. It's time for another one.
I think perhaps you want to draw things to a close there. Thank you, Bhante, for a fascinating journey through your faith. I'm sure you've all learned a great deal this morning. Some of us know something about Buddhism, have heard, read a little, perhaps heard a little, but we've never had it explained to us in such a clear and concise way. I'm sure we'll all appreciate that, and very grateful to you for coming to us this morning. And also for Brian for introducing you to us.
Yeah.
And thank you also to Pat for coming and recording your talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Gacchami